for his photography and recently getting into comedy. I'm here with Christopher Cardwell, known as Goodknews. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
So it's Black History Month. Talk
hmm
about the importance of Black photography.
I think Black photography is important because it's good to have our eye through the lens. Being able to see and create as an African American behind the camera, I think is very important because it puts our culture out there, it puts our vision out there, and just be able to tell a story and tell our story. So, I've been in photography for almost 20 years right now, being able to capture
Wow.
a lot of different things. And just being a photographer, just period, has changed my life.
So you've been doing this for 20 years.
Well,
Wow.
well, about 17 years. So I just
17.
round up at this point. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
that's
yeah.
almost that's almost 2 decades. So in these 2 decades, when you first started, talk about the upbringing.
Okay, so I first started photography 2006, 2007. Me and my frat brothers had a company called Frontwork Entertainment in Ohio, and I started doing photography for our company because we didn't have money to pay a photographer at that time. So I was doing photography. Then I started kind of falling in love with the craft. And then when I moved to Rochester in 2009, I was trying to find a job within my major. I couldn't find a job within my major that I liked. So I said, let me see how far I can take this photography thing. And with the support of my family, my mom, and the support of Rochester, I just been able to build what I have today.
Talk about being a Black photographer and the positives and the negatives.
I mean, me personally, I don't like to think of like, Black photographers, white photographers. One thing my dad always taught me, he said, never use your race as an excuse to compete. If you can't compete on all levels, don't compete at all. So I don't really think in terms of like, being a Black photographer, white photographer. I just try to be the best photographer that I could possibly be, period. No matter, if it's a white event, a Black event, a white model, a Black model, whatever it is. I want to bring the best quality that I possibly can. I want to have some of the best facilities I possibly can. When people walk in here, I want them to be like, wow, this is a nice photography studio, not, wow, this is a nice Black photography studio. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I want to be recognized as just a professional all around. But I mean, of course, you know, being a Black photographer, there have been some barriers that I had to break down at certain times. Like, for example, I worked for a company called the Police Locust Club of Rochester. I love working for them as well as one of their photographers for all their events and stuff like that. But getting started with them, I've been their photographer about over 10 years now. But when I started with them, because they didn't know who I was and stuff, they were a little standoffish. I think maybe because I might have been Black. But as they see me at more events, to see me um, coming around throughout the years, they warmed up a little bit more to me. So that was a barrier I was able to break down. Um, but I can honestly say, I think just being a photographer, I haven't really faced too much discrimination. I mean, it's just really about, do you have the talent to do it, or if you don't.
And I know you worked with a lot of celebrities. Talk
Mhm.
about that experience and working with celebrities and
Working with celebrities is fun. I mean, you have a very limited amount of time to work with most celebrities. You might have like 10 to 15 minutes to get what you get. But I've been blessed to work with a lot of amazing different people. I've worked with Machine Gun Kelly, Rick Ross, I've shot Meek Mills, Joyner Lucas, Steph London, Roscoe Dash, Kyrie Irving, Ro Timmy.
wow.
Um, and I can keep going on. Mayors of Rochester's, the past two mayors of Rochester, I'll be able to work closely with them. So um, being able to have those people in my portfolio is definitely an honor. But working with celebrities has definitely taught me how to work fast and work efficient, because you don't have time to get, you don't have an hour with them unless you're doing a big commercial shoot. But typically you don't have a lot of time with them. They're in and out. So you got to get what you can get it fast and make sure it's good.
And talk about now you're from Ohio?
Yes, I was born and raised. I was born in Ohio, but I was raised both here in Rochester and in Ohio. My mom is from Rochester, so that's where the Rochester connection comes from. My dad is from Ohio. They met when my mom was in college because my mom went to college in Ohio. That's how they met, and they got divorced around the time I was about 5 years old. So when they got divorced, my mom moved back to Rochester. My dad stayed in Ohio, so that started my journey. Going in between both cities, but um, I honestly could say Rochester has raised me just as much as Ohio.
Talk about the experience of being here in Rochester and then leaving your hometown. Talk about that a little bit.
Um, well, I kind of, like I said, I kind of feel like Rochester is my hometown, but I also feel like Cleveland is my hometown. I just was born in Cleveland, but I have so many family members here. And I have, like I said, I have so many family members in Ohio. It's just this is my place, you know. I never thought, to be honest with you, but I never thought after I graduated from college I would ever move back to Rochester. But moving back to Rochester was actually a blessing for me. In 2009, when I moved here, I mean, I was going through a very tough time. I was working for my father's company in Ohio. Before I moved here, it was called Stem Cell Authority Limited. We dealt with the storage or banking of cord blood stem cells. And we were the only black family in that industry. And when the company ended up losing its funding and I lost my paycheck and I lost everything trying to help my dad secure funding for the company, I literally only came to Rochester with 4 outfits in my camera. I thought I was going to go back to Ohio,
Yeah.
finish helping my dad trying to get the company back on his feet, which didn't happen. But it turned into a blessing in disguise because I think, you know, that's just what God wanted me to do. He wanted me to get that experience in business. And then now when I came to Rochester and I applied the experience that I had in that business just to building my photography business, I believe that just helped me tenfold. So you just never know what God has planned for you. You know, it's really just about God's time and God's will. And you just got to let his will be done, go with the flow and make the best of it.
Now, what do you want to say to the people who are trying to get involved in photography, but don't know what the right steps to take?
I would say for any young photographer, anybody trying to learn a photography, uh, the main thing is the more you shoot, the more you learn. Constantly be shooting, constantly be working with your camera. Understand how to work with your camera. Understand lighting. Understand different types of lighting, whether it's tungsten, natural light, fluorescent light. How does that lighting affect your shot? How do you mix lights? How do
Yeah.
you take a tungsten light and mix it with a strobe and make it look natural? Like, make sure you study the craft. Don't just grab a camera and say I'm a photographer because you're not. You can take a picture, but that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean that you are a professional photographer. You really have to
Yeah.
understand these things because when you're put in different situations that, you know, a client might want you to come shoot at a hotel and the hotel lighting might be dim, you have to understand, okay, I need to be at this shutter speed. I need to have my ISO here. I need to understand that I need the lighting to come from here to still make it look natural. So it's just a different things that you need to understand to really put you on that level to call yourself a professional. So to any young photographer out there, study the craft, find a photographer that you like, study their work, see how you know, how you can apply some of those things to your own work, because of course you want to develop your own style. That's one thing about photography. You know, you want to develop your own style so people understand, like when you say photo, like, oh, okay, that's a Goodknews photo, or that's an Albert Jones photo, or that's a Karen Asher photo. Like people will understand what your work is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So be creative, think outside the box. Also understand really there's no new ideas. I mean, pretty much everything has been done. But when you see an idea, try to figure out how to put your own little spin onto it to make it your own. And don't be scared to make a mistake. Yeah, everything is not going to be perfect. I mean, I've learned a lot just from making a mistake. Taking a picture, wasn't ready, wasn't had the lighting fully set up how I wanted, but then I
Yeah.
see an effect that the light created off of that mistake, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I know I can keep doing that if, you know, I create, you know, this kind of lighting setup, or then I just put it in my toolbox. So it's just the more you shoot, the more you learn, and constantly be studying the craft to get better.
Now, you recently got into comedy.
Hmm.
Talk about that. You've been doing it for 3 years now.
So this year will actually be my 4th year of
Wow.
doing comedy. February will be my 4th year of doing stand-up comedy. Before that, I was doing improv comedy. Shout out to Rob Campbell and 585 Viral and Essex for giving me opportunities to work doing improv. But um, as an improv comedian, you have to rely on the team, and I love being on stage, even from being in college and being in step shows or playing basketball and being on a big stage for basketball. I love playing. I love performing. So when we after the pandemic, I was trying to figure out some new things to try, new things to do. And I was like, you know what? I really want to try this stand up and just see what happens. You know, I never thought that I would get this far with it because I didn't know that it would turn into a passion like how I have it today. But yeah, man, it's extremely fun. I love being on the stage. I love making people laugh. I just love making people happy. Whether it's making somebody happy through a photograph and they see their picture and like, wow, I never knew I could look like this, or making somebody laugh off a joke that's relatable and they're like, wow, that kind of relates to me. I understand where he's coming from. So just me as a person, I just love to make people happy. I love to see people smile. I love to put people in good vibes and good energy. That's why they call me Good News. So I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get into this.
So you're a photographer at day, comedian at night.
Comedian by night.
How the both worlds? How are you keeping them separated?
Honestly, with everything that I do, I kind of integrate everything that I do to try to keep it as easy as possible for me. For example, like a lot of jokes that I have are I have photography based jokes based around my job and what I do as a photographer. And then being able to photograph during the daytime, and then comedy's usually at night. It just works out in my schedule where the two don't kind of conflict as much. But God has just given me the ability to be able to focus on different things, at the same time. So you always want to have multiple streams of income. So now this is one of my streams.
Now, there's a lot of kids who watch this platform. What do you want to say to them? Just give them a little bit of inspiration.
If I could say anything to the kids that are out there, especially the ones watching this platform, I would like them to know that, my main saying is positive mind, positive grind. Now, what does that mean? That means when you take a positive mind and you think positive and you work towards your goal, which is the grind part, success is inevitable. So whatever you do, you make sure that you keep a positive mindset. Make sure that you work hard towards your goals, because it's not just going to happen overnight. It's not just going to happen, but with a positive mindset and working hard, you'll be able to attract all the positive things to you to make your success come true. I like to tell all younger people, if you've never seen it, make sure you go watch. It's called The Secret. The Secret basically talks about how to manifest things through positive thinking and how to apply it to your life in a way where you can make it work for you. My dad, bless his soul, he passed away. Before he passed away in 2009, he put me on to The Secret. And I actually learned about The Secret before I moved to Rochester.
Yeah.
And like I said, when I moved to Rochester, all I had is 4 outfits and a camera. That's literally it. I didn't have a job. I didn't have bread. I didn't have none of that. And I took my positive mind and I started grinding, and I've been able to attract everything that I've had in my life today. And that's how I know for a fact that it works. So go watch The Secret, apply it to your life, and always remember, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're both right.
Before we end this interview here, where can people reach out to you if they want to watch some of your comedy or book a photography session?
So if you go to my Instagram, it's I_am_Goodnews. Or Good News Photography. And you can also see my work at goodnewsphotography.com. And you can also Google me. Just make sure you put the name GOODKNEWS. A lot of different things will pop up in terms of my Instagram, my Facebook, how to contact me and things like that. So, and I'm always looking to network and work with open people. So don't be shy. If you have any questions about photography or would love to book me for comedy or just have any questions about positivity at all, I'm always here to lend a helping hand. Anything else you want to say to our viewers? Make sure you come and check out my comedy show January 31st at the Vault, Black-owned establishment. We do a monthly show there every month. So it's usually this last Saturday of the month. So if you want to laugh, you want to have a good time, make sure you come there. And then also, we got some good Valentine's Day specials going on for Good News Photography. So if you're looking to book a nice shoot for Valentine's Day, let's work. All righty. I'm Geoffery Rogers, and to find out more details about him and continue to watch our platform, you can visit my website at gslnews.com and all our social medias at GSL News. I'm Geoffery Rogers, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for everything you do for the community, Jeff. Yes, I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah.